Hey guys, what's up? This is JRP77 from JGene Games, and in this tutorial we're going to be talking about the array modifier. So this is the start of a new series in which we're going to go over every single Blender modifier that currently exists, and we're going to talk about it. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, let's go to the modifiers tab, and let's go add modifier array. Now basically all this does is the modifier duplicates the object that you currently have, but you can do a little bit more than just that. Let's talk about the different options right now. So you have fit type, and you can choose between fixed count, fit length, and fit curve. Fixed count is pretty simple. If I space this out on the relative offset, we'll talk about this in a minute, but just to prove a point, you can see that with a count of 3, we have duplicated it 3 times. This mode allows us to duplicate an object in a certain amount of times. And then we have fit length. This allows us to fit a length in Blender units so that we can set, let's say, 20 Blender units would be this many cubes. And then you have fit curve, which allows you to fit a curved object. So I'm gonna hit Shift A, and I'm gonna go curve Bezier. I'm gonna move it back here just so we can see the difference. And I'm gonna right click on curve, and Bezier curve. So basically the only use I could see for this is scaling a curve to the length of an object so that you can use the thing. So I'm gonna hit S and then X, and you can notice that the more I scale it up, the farther and farther and farther that it extends out. So that's the fit type, and that's all the different options. But for the majority of this tutorial, we're gonna stick with fixed count. So I'm just gonna delete that, and I'm gonna jump back to fixed count because it's easier to work with. All right, so now let's talk about the different kinds of offsets. I've already previewed the relative offset. Let's talk about both offsets right now. Actually, all 3 offsets. The first one is the constant offset. This allows a constant translation of the copy from the original object. So you can see right now we've got a constant offset of 0, 0, 0. These are X, Y, Z coordinates, by the way. So if I change this to 3, you'll notice that it goes 3 units away, but it's doing it from the center of this object right here. It's doing it from that point right there. So 2 is they're still touching each other because from there to there is 2. But, however, there's a difference with the relative offset. So if I change it and I go to relative offset, you notice that with 2, it's a lot bigger than it was with constant. So you can see right here with constant, the edges are touching, but with relative, they're not touching at all. And that's because relative is based off of the bounding box. And that's visualized with this orange line that's sitting right here. The bounding box is basically the area on the outside of the object. So it's using that measurement to make another measurement between these 2 objects. That's why with this one, it's 1, and that's with the edges touching. But as soon as you go up to 1.1, they're not touching. All right, so one last one, and that is object offset. And to represent this, we're gonna create a new empty object. So I'm gonna hit Shift A, and I'm gonna go empty arrows, and I'm gonna move this right about here. I'm gonna move it like right here. And then I'm gonna right click on this object right here, and I'm gonna click on object offset, and I'm gonna click on this right here, and I'm gonna click the empty object. And you'll notice that the objects start going like this. So if I right click on this object and I move it down to right here, and we make it just touch right there, we can now go as many as we want and make an infinitely long staircase, and that's based off of the position of this empty object. So if I move right now, you can notice that it goes to the diagonal, and if I move it up, the stairs get farther apart. That's a really quick way to make a staircase or something like that, is to use an object offset like this. It prevents you from having to set in manual coordinates, and it lets you set the coordinates of an object itself. But if we Command Z a couple times, we can actually also rotate this. So if I rotate this on the Y 45 degrees, you'll notice that it makes a circle. Very, very useful for stuff like this. So I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna leave the count like this as well. And now let's look at the merge. So merge allows us to merge the vertices of these objects. So if I click on merge, you'll notice that nothing happens. So our problem right now is that the distance is too low. We set this to 1, and you'll notice that it instantly fixes all the problems. It's a really quick way to make something like a hex nut or something similar to that. Alright, so now that we've got that, let's talk about first last. Now you notice we have a little bit of a bug right here where the object right here doesn't match with the vertice right there. Luckily, we have first last, which merges the vertice right there. So the problem right now why this isn't working is because our count's too high. This is actually another object. So we just change this down, you can see that now this edge is right. And I can move that out just a little bit more, and you can add more vertices on the inside. So now I've got that, let's check out one last thing, and that is the start cap and the end cap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new object. So I'm gonna hit Shift A, and I'm gonna create a sphere, and I'm just gonna move it off to the side. I'm gonna hit Shift A, and I'm gonna make a cone. And I'm gonna also move it off to the side, probably like right around there. I can right click on this object and I can change start cap to sphere, and I can change end cap to cone. Now you really can't see it right now because it's on the object offset, but just for simplicity, we're gonna go and we're just gonna use relative offset, and we're gonna do 2. Now you see that we have 8 of these, so I'm going to change the count as well. You can see that there's a cone on this end and there's a sphere on this end. So really, what we've done right here is we've created a start cap and an end cap. Like a cap on a bottle, it's closing off the statement. So basically right here, this is based off of the offset. So because the offset is going this way, which is the positive on the x-axis, the start cap's going to be in the negative, and the end cap's going to be on the positive side. That's just one easy way to remember it. But that's basically all there is to it. It also scales to the size of the object, which makes it a bit tricky when working with stuff, but you can usually find out pretty quickly how to figure that out. So that's basically all there is to this modifier. Pretty straightforward, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If this video sucked, you know what to do, but if it didn't, drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. Don't forget to check out our website, social media, and merch, as well as our community Discord server. All of those links will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.